It can drive you nuts if you've finally spent a week at work and you've gotten home on the weekends and you just want to tune everything out. And then all weekend you're getting texts and calls from your boss. That can drive you nuts. The thing to verify is, what is the expectation in your organization about responding to those calls and texts? It may be that there is not an expectation for you to respond. And that's really important to understand, because a lot of people they're thinking about something when it's quiet, which is after hours. And some of your bosses may think of things when things finally get quiet, which is when everybody's out of the office. And so then as they think about things, they have a question like, well, would this actually work? Or do we have that document? Or could we make this work? And they decide, well, let me just call so-and-so and see, or let me just send that person a text and find out. They may not have an expectation that you actually get back to them, especially if it's after hours, but they may want to reach out just so they don't forget. I know I do that a lot, because when I'm thinking about things, it's often at all hours of the night. But usually if I send off an email, I will say, no need to respond to this right now. Some people don't even think to put that down. And so they may be sending you a message that tells you you need to respond when that's actually not their intention. Once you've verified what the expectation is in your organization, then you can set boundaries by letting people know when you'll respond to weekend messages. The important thing is that you can set whatever boundaries you want within the parameters of how your organization responds. You may be in one of those organizations where they expect a response within 24 hours, even if it's on the weekend. And in that case, you can pick a time slot where you respond to work texts or messages on the weekend. So you could say something like, so you can have a notification that says, I respond to texts between 8 and 9 p.m. on weekend days, or between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. or whatever. So people know when to expect a response from you when it's after hours, right? So you can decide when that is, and that way you've posted it, you've let people know, and then you don't have to feel guilty not responding. But you do have to stick to it. I've worked with a couple clients who complain about their bosses texting them on weekends, but then they always respond right away. And what that does is it encourages the behavior. So make sure that if you really don't want interruptions, that you take responsibility for setting those boundaries. You can do it in a positive way all the time by just saying when you will get back to people and when you will be available. You don't say, don't text me on weekends. So you don't have to be rude about it, but you can set positive boundaries. And if you stick to them, other people will respect them.